Most advanced robotics and IoT systems are built from the same recurring list of hardware. By mastering this specific anatomy of 58 electronic components, you gain the ability to map almost any complex engineering project back to its fundamental building blocks. Navigating this massive catalog of hardware becomes predictable once you divide it into 4 logical systems. Every autonomous machine relies on its power, its brains, its senses, and its muscles. Before you touch a microchip, you need the physical infrastructure to connect them. Wire strippers, digital multimeters, and jumper cables act as the structural veins of your project, ensuring that electrical signals can travel reliably between components. But the best wiring job in the world requires an energy source to function. To activate these systems, we have to establish a stable and safe power supply. This diagram compares the 2 primary energy sources for high-draw robotics: the cylindrical 18650 lithium-ion cell and the lightweight lithium polymer pouch. Selecting the right one depends on 3 metrics: voltage, capacity in milliamp hours for runtime, and the C rating, which determines the maximum current the battery can safely discharge under load. These cells can become volatile if overcharged. To charge an 18650 safely from a standard USB port, you use a TP4056 module. It manages the incoming current to ensure the cell reaches its capacity without overheating or failing. Because battery voltage drops as the cell drains, feeding raw power directly to a microcontroller risks a system crash. We use an LM2596 buck converter to step down that fluctuating energy into a perfectly stable 5-volt rail for the sensitive logic circuits. Safety protocols are critical when integrating diverse power sources. This schematic shows a solar-powered circuit using a Schottky diode as a one-way electrical valve. This prevents the battery from discharging backward into the solar panel at night, which would otherwise damage the hardware. Establishing a secure power distribution network prevents catastrophic hardware failure. With the energy flow secured, we can introduce the processors that will control the system. The Arduino UNO and its smaller counterpart, the Nano, serve as the entry point for most mechatronic systems. They operate on 5-volt logic and use an array of digital, analog, and pulse-width modulation pins to handle basic I/O tasks. This diagram illustrates a critical hardware limit. While Arduinos use 5-volt signals, advanced boards like the ESP32 and Nano Matter operate at 3.3 volts. If you feed a standard 5-volt signal into a 3.3-volt logic gate, you will permanently destroy the processor's internal circuits. The RP2040 Pico handles high-speed sensor logic, but the Raspberry Pi 4 operates as a full Linux ecosystem, providing the heavy processing power required for real-time machine vision and complex network routing. However, even the most capable processor is isolated from the real world until it is given a way to perceive its environment. We bridge that gap by installing the nervous system. Whether they measure distance, motion, or light, most sensors share a common wiring structure: power, ground, and a signal line back to the brain. This visualization shows the HC-SR501 ultrasonic sensor in action. It fires an 8-cycle acoustic burst and measures the microseconds to bounce off a wall and return. By multiplying that time by the speed of sound, the system calculates the physical distance to an obstacle. For motion detection, PIR sensors monitor the environment for shifting infrared heat signatures. To map environmental conditions, DHT11 and LDR modules translate temperature, humidity, and ambient light into digital data points. To capture sound, we use the MAX4466 microphone module. It detects fluctuating physical air pressure and converts it into a continuous analog voltage curve that the microcontroller can process. This sensory data allows the machine to map its surroundings. Now, the system needs the mechanical components required to react to that data. Physical movement requires actuators. For lightweight plastic wheels, basic BO motors are efficient. For heavy-duty industrial drivetrains, you utilize the high torque and higher current capacity of 555 or 775 DC motors. This oscilloscopy display shows how we achieve precision movement. By varying the width of electrical pulses through pulse-width modulation, we can force an MG996R servo to hold a specific angle. For continuous, step-by-step accuracy, we use the 28BYJ48 stepper motor and its ULN 2003 driver. This schematic details the internal H-bridge architecture of the L298N motor driver. Microcontrollers cannot supply enough current to spin a motor directly. The L298N acts as an interface, flipping high-power paths in an X pattern to drive the motors forward or reverse. Because it uses bipolar transistors, it causes a roughly 2-volt drop in the motor's power supply. Finally, we give the system ways to interact. Relay switch heavy AC power lines, while OLED screens and MAX7219 dot matrices provide visual feedback. To track the date and time while offline, we integrate a DS1307 real-time clock. We have now defined the individual anatomy of the 58 core components. Now we can see how they fuse together into autonomous ecosystems. A beginner-tier integration combines an Arduino UNO, an ultrasonic distance sensor, an L298N motor driver, and BO motors. Together, these form the hardware loop for a functional obstacle-avoiding rover. For an intermediate system, you route a solar panel through a TP4056 to charge an 18650 battery. This powers a DHT11 sensor and a real-time clock, with the results logged to an OLED. This is a fully off-grid smart weather station. At the advanced level, you network an ESP32 or Raspberry Pi with cameras, PIR sensors, and heavy-duty 775 motors. This creates a fully autonomous wireless IoT security rover that is highly capable of navigating and monitoring a physical space. Moving from a simple blinking LED to a heavy-duty IoT robot is not a change in engineering theory. It is simply a matter of stacking these specific functional blocks. With these 58 components defined, the barrier between an engineering concept and a functional prototype is now purely technical. You have the blueprint required to navigate the architecture of modern machines. If this systems masterclass helped you connect the dots, hit like, share this with a fellow builder, and subscribe to DEVEN Education Hub. Keep exploring, keep innovating, and I'll see you in the next project.